All right, what's good, y'all, man? So we gonna talk about key quote here from Kyle McCord. So as y'all know, Kyle McCord is actually going to be entering into the NFL draft, right? Played his ball formerly at Ohio State this past year, had a really good year for Syracuse. He had a really great quote here. He says, he's a great player, but never really was a star receiver. I never felt like he got the credit that he deserved, but just produced every single year. I'm not going to disagree with him. I think Kyle McCord hits this on the money. The reason I say that is it's hard because Emeka did everything he was supposed to do, right? It reminds you kind of those Alabama teams, back in the day when they had like those four that was really good: Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, right? All of them felt like they got pretty much love, but some, got more love than others. But at the end of the day, everyone ended up in the league, right? Everyone is making their own story. So it's tough when you have so many elite players. The issue and the reason why he didn't get as much credit is because Ohio State had two generational receivers during his time, right? It is unfortunate, right? When we look at Egbuka in his career, it was great. Set Ohio State record in receptions, 205. He had 2,868 yards receiving and 24 touchdowns this past year, or just over the course of his career. It was a great career for Emeka Egbuka, but like I said, it's unfortunate because when you look at Marvin Harrison Jr., generational talent, they was talking about him being drafted as a sophomore, like he would probably be a top end pick. He still was when he eventually got drafted this year. You know what I'm saying? But they was talking about him as a generational talent as a sophomore, right? You getting that same thing now with Jeremiah Smith, you know what I'm saying? Who obviously is a freshman this year. Obviously, this is Ibuka's last year, but a lot of the targets went to Smith. Teams game plan for Smith, right? So it is unfortunate, and I do agree with him. All he did was win over the course of his career, came in every day, worked, and I think he would have been a higher end prospect if he didn't play with two generational talents. It's unfortunate, but that's what you get when you go to Ohio State. And it's a little bit different when you look at it and you think about it too, because LSU similarly kind of had this issue too. But it was a little bit different, right? When you look back at the 2019 team, they had Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. It felt like both of those guys got the same amount of love, though. You know what I'm saying? They both were talked about very heavy. In my opinion, both were top-rated picks. Jefferson fell a little bit, which didn't really make sense to me in his draft. I think he was drafted 18 by Minnesota initially, right? Jamar Chase goes top 5 overall, right? But it felt like those two got a lot of love. But Terrence Marshall, not saying he had the career of Emeka Egbuka, but he also was an underrated guy that did a lot of things well and didn't always get the love, but still ended up getting drafted. And then when we look at him this year, 81 catches, 1,000 yards receiving, and 10 touchdowns. But like I said, very underrated because when you think of Ohio State right now, like think about this, y'all. When you think about Ohio State going into next year, who are you thinking about first? You're not even thinking about quarterback. You ain't even thinking about running back, right? You're thinking about Jeremiah Smith. You know what I'm saying, coming back. You're thinking about trying to keep Carnell Tate. But really, Jeremiah Smith is your main guy. That's who you're thinking about. And that's how it is with Ohio State. You could be an elite receiver, but can you accept your role? And I felt like Emeka Egbuka throughout his career balled out for one, two accepted his role, and continued to contribute. Didn't get upset that he wasn't getting as many targets, but continued to be that reliable weapon. And when a former quarterback, a former player that played with you, seeing your work ethic, seeing you play, seeing you ball, seeing how you were in meetings, that says a lot about him and his talent, man. So, I mean, I 100% agree, man. Just a winner. And I think my biggest hope for him is that he lands in a spot that can utilize his talent. It's very important when you look at the NFL draft because you go to a place and same thing, your talent can be minimized to a degree. Like, for example, I really like Jackson Smith and Jigba. Now, he's having a decent career with Seattle, but I don't feel like his talent's being optimized, right? He need a place like a Green Bay, potentially, maybe even a Carolina or something like that to utilize his talent. The reason I say that is y'all can call me about Carolina, but Carolina needs more receivers, right? They obviously got Xavier Legette, who's a good player, but they need a slot guy that can do damage, right? A guy that can do damage out in the boundary. This guy can do that, right? Green Bay, right? Good receivers. They need another guy that can, take the top off the defense, make big plays, big yak guy. Like, they need that badly, you know what I'm saying, with Jordan Love and everything they got going on. So when you look at everything in its totality, a phenomenal career. Unfortunately, very underrated because he played with two generational talents. But y'all comment below. Do you feel like he didn't get the credit he deserved over the course of his Ohio State career? Let me hear y'all thoughts.